Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Now, I've got a really strange one for you here today. Now, this is a bit out of my comfort zone. This is something I don't normally do, but I was sent these images in a few days ago by a guy called Steve Criddle from Wales in the UK. And he was at Stonehenge and took a whole bunch of photographs during the solstice celebration, which was not very long ago. It was quite recent, obviously. And basically, he's sent me some of his better photographs, but he took these at night while stood in the middle of the stones, in the middle or around the stones. It wasn't raining that night. I initially thought that these blobs here were blobs of water on the camera lens, on the camera, and the flash had kind of backlit them up. But he says it wasn't raining, and says that can be checked quite easily by looking at the weather for that day. So I'm quickly going to flick through them first, just to show you what we've got. Now, if you want to ask any questions, I will not be answering these questions because I wasn't there. But Steve has joined up with YouTube, and he'll be quite happy to answer some of your inquiries about these images. Okay, so he will be answering questions in detail, which I cannot give because obviously I wasn't there. So do bear that in mind. So this is the first one. You can tell this is Stonehenge a mile off, and there's lots of these orb-like lights in the image. Now, some of them are quite large and look less in focus, like this one, and some of them are quite small and bright, like this one on the edge here. And many of them seem to have or some of them seem to have eyes and facial features, like this one here. But a lot of them, like this one, I don't know if you can see that very well, have got these strange curved lines going through them, almost like a tennis ball would look. Really, really strange. I've been struggling with this. I don't really know what to make of these. There's a much brighter one here. Now, apparently these were not visible to the naked eye. These photos were taken at night, obviously, and none of these orbs or lights were seen at the time. They were taken just like normal photographs, and they weren't seen until the photographs were viewed properly the next day, I think, over the next coming days afterwards. So that's, I mean, from the emails I've been given, that's what I've been led to believe. So if you want to ask any more about that, then please leave a comment, and I'm sure Steve will try and give you more information. Now, this one was really strange. Now, this seems to have eyes and a nose and a mouth, but it has a bit hanging off it. I mean, what the hell is it? Now, I did think initially that some of these things, maybe someone juggling or with torches or lights or whatever, or someone blowing bubbles perhaps. But since when does a bubble have something like this hanging off it here? You know, this is absolutely crazy, and that does look like a face almost. And there are loads and loads of them, and you probably can't see them very well. So what I'm going to do, I'll very quickly do some enhancements on these, and I'll also put a load of enhanced clips of these particular lights at the end of the video, so you can see them up close, and I'll turn them negative and stuff like that to try and get some more detail out of them. This was a strange one. Now, one or two of these may actually be the moon. This is a camera flash here. Obviously, someone's taken a photograph, and Steve's caught that in his photo here. And there are other things in these images, which I'm sure, like this one here, you have this thing, which is probably a moth, which are very common this time of year in this part of the world at night. So that's probably fairly close up, and it's a moth just buzzing around. But some of these were really bright, like this blue one up here. Now, when I first saw that, I thought it might be someone juggling with one of those kind of glow ball things that you chuck up in the air. But it's not actually round. It's sort of ovoid, which is rather strange. Whereas juggling balls are round. And not all of these are actually circular. Some of them have things sticking out of them, like this one here. It's not completely round. So that says to me that there's something very strange going on here. I really am not sure what we're looking at. And out of all of them, this one was the craziest. This one here, which is ovoid again and not round, has a skull in it. What looks like a human skull, and there's another one here with what looks like a face. Very vague, I know. So I've got this up in my graphics processor here, and I'm very quickly going to show you some enhancements I've done, and I'm going to brighten this image up a bit so you can see it a bit clearer. Now, all I've done here is taking a clip of this little, well, quite large orb, whatever you want to call it here, that looks like a skull, and that's a raw clip. And when I zoom in, you can see two eyes and a sort of nose and a mouth here. It looks kind of like a skull. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Now, what could possibly be causing this in these photographs? I don't know. And these are raw images. They haven't been tampered with. I've looked at them very, very carefully. And he sent me these straight off his camera. They have not been resized or tampered with. They're still, the camera he uses is an 8 megapixel Optio, which is Pentax. I have a very similar camera. I have the 12 megapixel version of it, and it's a very good camera, very small and compact, but they are very good cameras, and they got a very good ISO on them. They're good at picking up light. So here it is in negative. Now, I'll show you what I did to that. I'll just redo what I did to that because I just copied it. I turned it negative, and then I darkened it, darkened it, darkened it, darkened it, and then blurred it, and then I clarified it, then I clarified it again, and that's how we got to this. So that's what that looks like. Now, when you get in too close, it just looks blurry, but basically it does look like a skull or a face. It's really, really insane. I really don't know what to make of this. This is totally different to anything I've ever published before. And what I'll do now, let's just get rid of that. Come here. There we go. Now I'm just going to brighten this image right up for you. Okay, and let's see what comes out. I haven't done this yet, so this is. I've been holding back a bit on this one because I've been very busy this weekend. I've been publishing a lot of stuff. Let's go really bright, and then I'll put some contrast in there just to make them show better. Let's go minus 15 plus 15, and let's go bright. Okay, plus 10 plus 10. Let's go again and again. That will do. Now, there's all sorts of sized orbs here. Now, some of them are actually in front of people, like this one. There's a person behind there, and this one is almost tangled in this person's hair by the looks of it. Absolutely insane. Look at it. What is that? Now, this looks a little grainy, of course, but this is taken in quite very low light conditions, and it's only the really good flash on the camera that's probably caught these things. Now, many cameras do see into the near infrared, so what we may be seeing here is something that the human eye cannot pick up, especially in the dark. But whereas cameras, of course, aren't exactly like the human eye. They work on a slightly different spectrum and can pick up things that we cannot see. And these may well be electrical orbs or some kind of unexplained phenomena like you get above mountains and things like that, like ball lightning. But this is really like nothing I've ever seen. They look like bubbles, but they have features inside them, like this. These lines here. There's that moth again, I think. And this one over here with looks like a nose or something sticking out. I mean, I really cannot explain what I'm looking at here. Feel free to comment, and I'm sure Steve will answer your questions. Any queries you have, he'll be quite happy to answer. Keep the comments polite, please. It's not a school playground here. I do get trolled quite a lot by very childish comments. So anyone who's abusive will be removed, or have their comment removed at least. So there we go. I'll do some more clips of this. It's getting really close to that guy. Look, there he is. And that's all I've done here is increase the brightness and contrast. That is raw. It's a completely raw image, and you can tell they're all raw images because they're each of the photographs are roughly the same size. They haven't been compressed or mucked around with, and they got the they just look natural to me. I mean, it's very similar to my camera. So there we go. So I will do some more clips of these and get in closer, and then I'll see what extra information can be gained from these orbs. Okay, I mean, this was the brightest one, this blue one here, and that one actually appears in one or two of the other photographs as well. Let's quickly go back through those. There's that same photograph. I'll flick through. He does have many more. Now this one here, they're much smaller, but we got this bright one here again, this bright bluish one, and there's lots and lots of much smaller ones here. This is from a different angle, of course, but you can see the stones at Stonehenge there quite clearly, and some of these probably are stars. A camera, a half decent camera like a Pentax will pick up some starlight. So a lot of these small little dots up here are probably stars, but these certainly are not down here because they're in front of these stones. So there we go. And there are a couple more here. There's that one again. As I said, I will do some clips and brighten these up and try and drag out as much detail as possible. But this was a pretty cool image, I think, because obviously it's Stonehenge, and there's this really large round orb here, and these two on the edge here, and these down here, there's another bright one down there. So they're all over these images. And like I said, I thought it was rain or something, but Steve does say that it wasn't raining, so there we go. And there's loads in this image, and they're all different sizes. Some look closer, some look further away. What the hell are they? I mean, what the hell is that? These aren't balloons. They're not people juggling. I mean, to juggle that many balls, you'd have to be an octopus or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, as I said, comment below. I really don't know what to think. I will do some enhancements and try and get some more detail out of these. I shall see you soon.